Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Say What podcast. I am your host, Shakima D. Ford. We made it. This is the third episode, right? And today we're going to be talking about securing your own bag. But before we do that and before we get into the introductions, I have to give it up to my branding company, the branding company for all that you do. I have to give it up to Whitfield for this dope on fire song that is so fitting and perfect to me and my personality. So we have two special guests today. We have one being my mom, Diana, right, who's going to talk about at 61 how important it is to always make sure that your bag is secured, right? And then to my best friend, Viola, who's dating, right? She's the same age as me. We don't have to disclose. But just making sure your bag is secure before you put those kind of responsibilities on anyone else. So welcome, everyone. Let's just go right into it. So, of course, everyone knows that I'm in the business of credit repair and helping people earn additional income. And it's just a pet peeve of mine because I see this so much, right? When I'm talking to women, and this is nothing against women. We're just having conversations. I'm not a counselor or anything. I'm just giving my opinion. It's just me, right? Just say what, right? But when I talk to women, I get a lot of women who gives me the response of, well, let me ask my husband first. Let me check with my husband first. And that's just a pet peeve of mine because my question after that is, so if your husband says no to you bettering yourself, which is going to, at the end of the day, be better for both of you and your family, what if he says no? Are you not going to do it? So I have my mom here. She was married 18 years. Unfortunately, her husband did pass away a year ago. Sorry. He passed away a year ago. May his soul rest in peace. But I want to ask my mom. I'm going to start out with her first. Mom, did you ever find yourself asking your husband if it was okay to do something, like if it was, if you wanted to purchase something for your children, if it was something about, bettering yourself? Did you ever find asking your husband for permission?
It depends on what it was. If it was my children, no, I didn't need his permission because they were my children and it was my money. If it was something for the house, a big item, yes, I would. But as far as, no. Because he didn't ask me.
So you did. I can remember now because we just being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember one Christmas because we were used to getting gifts, a lot of gifts on Christmas. The first Christmas that you and he were married, I can remember that we didn't get anything for Christmas because he said that the house got a computer.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I remember that. Mm-hmm. That was very hurting to me and Bud.
Really?
It was. We didn't get.
And I didn't even pay for that computer. I didn't want the computer.
Well, we didn't get anything.
I'm sorry. I have to make that up.
So what happened?
I guess I must have listened or I wasn't working because
You was working. You was always working.
Oh, wow.
But he said the
I
house.
guess being my first, just getting married, I said I'll give it a try. But probably after that, it probably didn't go no further than that. Because I was always used to taking care of my children on my own. I was a single parent from the time you were born, and you're 39. So for 39 years, I was a single parent until I married him. Mm-hmm. But I always made sure my children had, because I was used to taking care of y'all. Mm-hmm. Y'all would get before I get. And that's why it was so hard for me to put anything away, because I had 2 children to take care of. Mm-hmm. And I tried to do my best.
So do you think, I don't want to, when it comes to, because we're going to talk about securing your bag, ladies, the importance of making sure that your bag is secure. When we say securing your bag, just making sure that you are financially fit. Making sure at the end of the day, especially if you have children, that you can take care of you and your children no matter what. And no matter how much you love your husband, how much you love your significant other, people are flaky. And you let no one stand in the way of that. And, my dad always told me, and he still tells me this, no matter how much you love your husband, at the end of the day, you make sure that you can take care of you and the boys. And it's nothing against my husband, but it's just, it's just making sure, because life happens. But sometimes, which we're going to go into another question, Mom, men, sometimes they don't know how to deal with that. They have a hard time when they have a woman that is, like, quote unquote, like they like to say, right, Viola, too independent. Like, what is considered? So, guys, we're talking to you too, and I hope you're going to be submitting some answers. But what do you consider too independent? Like, what is considered too independent? When you have a woman that's too independent, and it seems like, as a man, I'm not a man, but it seems like you would want a woman that was independent, because if something was to happen to you, because you're, the man, he's the head. If something was to happen to you, you would want to know and have that security that I know my woman can take care of it.
Yes.
So when we're out here securing our bag and having businesses and having multiple streams of income, it's what's wrong with that? Like, what's so wrong with that? But I see a lot of women, and I guess it goes back to, I know we talked about this before, Viola, but how you were raised. Like, some women are raised to solely depend on men.
Yes.
And forget to secure their bag.
Yes.
And then when the man leaves,
you're empty.
You're empty.
Your bag is empty. Yeah.
Your bag is empty, and you're left with nothing. So sometimes you have to stay in a place that you don't even want to be in, because your bag is not secure, because you put everything into making sure he's good.
Right.
I can say this. I've been around Viola, Shakima, small little girls growing up, and I always taught them, be able to take care of yourself. And whatever somebody can contribute, let it be changed. But you make sure, if you want that Louis Vuitton or that Gucci bag, you can pay for it with your own money. There should be nothing said. That's your money. And whatever you bring, whatever he brings to the pot, that's good. But men are very insecure with independent women. Because they want you to ask them, well, you got $5? They want that. They want that, well, she asked me for $5. But what's wrong with independent women? I never got that part. I'm 61 years old. I still see it as the day where women say, well, I got to ask my husband. Ask your husband what? Don't you go to work every day? Why do you have to ask your husband what to do with your money? Because when he go out there with Tom and Jerry, he out there buffing it up. He ain't calling you and say, can I buy beer? It's independence. I raised these girls, along with their parents, their other mothers, be independent. They all went to college. They all have master's degrees. They're very independent women. They can take care of themselves and their children. But a lot of men don't like that. They like to be able to tell you, have control. It's control.
Okay, so that's the question. When you don't secure your own bag and you have to solely depend on your spouse,
it's not good.
Do they ask for 100% control? Or do you give them 100% control indirectly because you solely depend on their income?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the expectation of the man. if he's handling everything in the household, he probably has a certain level of expectation on you to do certain types of things in the household. You're definitely gonna have certain kinds of conversations with him anytime you buy anything. I mean, me being unmarried, that's not what I saw in my household, because with my father, although he was a bit kind of irresponsible with money sometimes, he allowed all of his money to be deposited into my mother's account. And he had a certain amount of money he would have for the month as far as things that he needed to do. So I didn't see it move like that. And he did take care of the bulk of the bills because he was bringing in more money, but she contributed as well. But it was never you can't do on either end, so no. And that could go back to your last podcast about submission. I think my pastor said one time there's a difference between submission and slavery. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what that could feel like for a woman if the man is handling everything. I just have to cater to everything for him. And that's not, only insecure man would want to dictate every single last thing that a woman does. Even if he takes care of everything financially, I don't think every man feels like that. Right. Like, yes. I take care of things because I want to, not because I want to boss you around. Every man is not like that. No. But there are some who feel like that, like, you know, I take care of everything in here, you need to, you know, do what I tell you to do. Mm-hmm. And some women, you know, maybe they don't mind. I'm not that type of woman, and I don't know a lot of them, but there are some women who basically submit to that lifestyle, so.
And that's true, because with my mom, that's how my mom and dad did it. My dad would distribute everything into the bank, and she would too. And he would say, well, just give me a couple of dollars to get some cigars, you know, Papa. And that was it. He was happy with that because he knew everything was going to be taken care of. Right. And that's how it is, you know. But some men, they just want to have that control. And I think I had a man that my husband was like that. If he worked and he, you know, he wanted that control, but I couldn't give it to him.
You couldn't solely give it to him.
No, I couldn't do that because I didn't. Why? Why do you? I mean, I'm here with you. We're doing this together. What reason do you have to control me? That doesn't work. For some women, right. Some women want that. I never wanted that. You do what you have to do. I do what I have to do. We come. It's whole. We talk about this. You know. No. Mm-mm.
Well, I can say, because we being very transparent on this show, we don't keep anything. We let it all out. My husband is very old school, very old school. And we've been married for almost 15 years. I am definitely not the same woman he married. I've grown a lot. I see the importance of having your own. I mean, it's awesome when you build together. No doubt about it, but ladies, you have to have your own. You do. You really have to have your own. And you have to be okay with your husband not being okay with that. You have to be. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not secure, then nothing else around you can be secure. That's just bottom line. If it's a gap or if it's loose with you, then everything else is going to be loose. But you have to be okay with your husband not being okay with that if he's not okay with that. But like we said, there are some men who want to see their woman out here grinding and striving and making it happen. But then you have some who are not. But that's a conversation that you would have to have with your significant other. And like we said, we're not counselors. We're on here. We're just having fun. We're just talking about some of the hot topics, and securing your bag, ladies, is a very, very hot topic because when we grow up and we have children, we always say that, and it's always been said that we raise women, but we what, boys?
I kind of remember.
We baby the boys, but we raise the women.
True. That's true.
And that's very true. And I see a lot of times we raise women to find rich men. Like you want to find a man who's going to take care of you. I have people that I work with who are who did that. They got with wealthy men and they forgot about themselves. My mom talked about that too. I was once lost in that. I really was. I'm not gonna say that I wasn't. I was lost in that too. But the light bulb came came on one day. And we could talk about this for hours, but if you're living a life that you don't want to live and you feel like you have to live that life because your bag, your finances is not secured, or you see your significant other going down a road down, maybe you want to live someplace, I don't know, someplace different, or you want to live a certain lifestyle, it's okay. It's okay for you to not want to go down that road with them if you want to live better. But I just see it so much that women they just get so caught up, and it just years and years go by and they're just miserable. I'm just going to put it out there. They're just miserable. And then sometimes people think just because you're married that your finances are secure, and that's not even the case either.
No, ma'am.
Definitely not.
That's not even that's not the case either. But we want to encourage women. At the end of the day, ladies, take care of yourself. Secure your bag. If you want to start that business, start that business. Right? If you want to start 2 businesses, start those businesses. If your spouse is not okay with that, then you got to be okay with him not being okay with that. Because if your bag is not secured, you're succumbing yourself to deal with whatever it is that they're putting out. Because what are you going to do? What can you do? What are your options? And ladies that are single, which we got Viola here to talk about that. How important it is to have your bag secure first before you go into a relationship demanding things. Right? So we're going to flip it a little bit. You go into these relationships demanding that your man lace you with Louis Vuitton and Gucci and this and this and that, but then you can't even afford it yourself.
True.
So how important is it to make sure that those expectations you're putting on someone that you're, about to be in a relationship with, how important it is to already be able to be at that level yourself. Because if not, and you go into a relationship expecting those things, you're going to be disappointed.
Yes.
Right? You never get mad at somebody because they can't afford to buy you something you can't afford to buy yourself. And I've heard Viola say that so many times. So Viola, if you want to just kind of, she's looking at me. You just kind of want to, touch on it because, like I said, she's single, she's dating, she's having fun, but she's also the owner of her own business. She's a fashion blogger. Her boutique is loading. And, she knows the hustle and the bustle and what it takes to be successful. She's very well on her way. And she has high expectations, of course, and she should when she's out there dating, but she's not putting that stamp and on anybody else because she first has to secure it herself.
Well, okay. That was very cute about my single and dating. But when it comes to securing the bag, I kind of look at it this way. For you to secure a bag, you got to kind of have a bag to secure. And for me, just being transparent financially, I have not always been the most responsible person. And I can say I have people in my life who have enabled my behaviors because I am single, I don't have kids, so I feel like that's made me a bit more lax in how I handle my finances just because I don't have those responsibilities. But I think you have to think about these things with securing a bag. Number one, your credit, of course. Shakima knows that because that's a big part of her brand, which I'm working on. You also have to think about savings, which is an area I struggle with. I get my savings up, then I start using it for things that are not even of importance. So saving is a big part, really saving your money, and also just sacrifice, which is something that Shakima was talking about in her coffee in the morning with her team, and with sacrifice, that's where I struggle of sacrificing just things I like to do because I like to go out, I like to do fun things, which I haven't been doing as much because of COVID, but I definitely like shopping. And I just realized that in order for me to work towards my boutique that is loading slowly, I have to stop spending on things that are not going to go towards, the business ventures that I have in store for myself. So those are just three things I think about, three things that I am currently still working on, but that's what you have to think about. A lot of people can talk about securing the bag, but many of us, our bag isn't really that heavy. I mean, mine could have been much heavier had I been more responsible in my younger years, because I've come across a good bit of money in my life, sometimes large sums at one time that I just blew into the air, irresponsibility, but it's kind of what I learned. My dad was a spender, and I got a lot of his habits. You know what I'm saying? He was a spender, he likes to buy, he liked to shop, and I got a lot of that. So, but he always told me I needed to be better and save my money, and I hear him, my dad is deceased now, but say that, Holly, you need to start saving money. You don't need to spend all your money on clothes and always eating out. So yeah, I'm learning. So when it comes to security bag, I'm there. Like I said, I'm single. Have I had men tell me no about things that I've requested from them? Sure I have. Do I like it? No, I don't. Because I don't think my requests are really that high. Like I'm just in a place where I feel like if you're with somebody who sees you work hard for yourself, you do nice things for yourself, they should want to do nice things for you too. And that's not saying break their bank to like you said, buy me a $2,500 purse, but just to do nice things. And I think, sometimes that's just kind of misinterpreted about what women want from men. Women want kindness and thoughtfulness, and they want nice things too. But I mean, if you're dating a woman who has those things, then you might need to, that's not where you are, you might need to reconsider who you're dating.
Ladies, she just said something. She really said a mouthful, and she doesn't even know. And I want her to say it again, because this makes a lot of sense, right? She just talked about dating in your league.
Yes.
If you're dating a woman whose bag is already secure, and we're not saying just because she has labels, her bag is secure. That's not what we're saying. Right. We're saying, but on a flip note, if you are dating a woman who has those things, that means she has a certain type of taste. Right? Yes. We don't say that because I carry a Louis Vuitton or Prada or Gucci bag that my bag is secure. That's not what we're saying. Because people are out here just living paycheck to paycheck but still carrying those labels, right? That's all wrong. Mm-hmm. But she's saying if you're dating a woman who possesses those things, she has a certain type of taste. So we already know that she can afford to buy that herself. Whether or not she spent her light bill money or whatever to buy it, at some point she was able to purchase that. Correct. If you can't afford those things, right? Don't date her. It's simple as that. So you won't be disappointed and she won't be disappointed, right? She's not in your league, and that's not a bad thing. We're just saying when she asks you for those things, you shouldn't be surprised because she had those things all along. Mm-hmm. So Viola just said a mouthful. Yes. She really said a mouthful. So ladies, secure your own bag. And you can still help your significant other secure his bag. We're not saying that. But your main focus should be securing yours first. Yes. Secure your own bag first. And be comfortable with your significant other being uncomfortable with that, you let no man, no woman, nobody deter you from making sure that your finances are in order. Viola also talked about credit, right? Making sure your credit will get it. Making sure your money not funny, right? Doing those things for yourself, right? You want to find a man with an 800 credit score, you better have an 800 credit score, right? Because his credit score, what does that have to do with you? His credit score will get him what he needs, but your credit score needs to be able to get you what you need.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So if you take nothing else away from today, in which we're going to go into answering questions, ladies, be comfortable with your spouse or your significant other being uncomfortable with you securing your bag. And if they are uncomfortable, then that's the conversation you need to have. Because any person in their right mind with a heart would want you to better yourself.
I have one thing to say. Ladies, gentlemen, be prepared for when life happens. When life happens and you're not prepared, it can be really bad. Me, myself, life happened, but I was a little prepared for it. You know, I had that covered when I lost my husband. Because after he died, you know, I had no place to live. But I was prepared. A little prepared. So that I could move me and my mom into someplace else. So be prepared. We're not saying this to be nasty. We're just saying be prepared. Because when the people that you think love you don't always love you. Be prepared. My daughter kept saying, Mommy, you got to get right. You got to get right, you know. You got to be, I said, Kima, finally, I can say, I'm ready. I can handle this. I didn't need nobody to help me. I said, baby, I got this. Just be here for me. I don't want nobody to help me. I got this. And I was prepared. I was able to take care, make sure my husband was taken care of, and put me and my mother in some place.
Not just some place, but you purchased your first home.
Yeah.
Her first home on her own. How many years did it take for you to purchase your own home, Mom?
Forever.
No, how many years was it?
About 3 years.
No. How old were you when you purchased your first home?
Oh, I turned 60. I purchased my home in June 19th, and I turned 60 June 24th.
So she was 59 when she purchased her own home.
Yes. Be prepared. Look, I'm old. You can't wait like me. You got to do it now.
You got
do
to start
it
early.
now. You heard what Viola said? She got her 3 P's that she working on. Start working on it. Even if you have to put $20 or $15 away a week, start preparing yourself. Don't have somebody else have to prepare for you. You take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And if you ask your husband or your significant other, not for permission, but, you know, it's just common courtesy. Look, babe, I want to start this business. You know, I'm not saying don't talk to your spouse about anything. That's not what I'm saying. I want you to have that conversation. But if he doesn't give you the feedback that you were looking for, don't let that deter you. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart because I see so many women who are miserable and looking for an out because they're miserable. And I want you to understand that marriages break up for 2 reasons. And you can Google this. Number 1 being finance, and number 2 being romance. If the finances ain't right, it ain't no romance going on. I'm sorry. That's just bottom line. If the finance ain't right, it's no romance. Ladies, do what you need to do for yourself. Right? And if you're single, do what you need to do for yourself. Right? So, if you ladies don't have anything else, we're going to go into questions because we have a lot that we have to get answered. As I said before, if you don't remember anything else or take anything else from this, ladies, take care of you. And Viola said this too. Even if your bag is big or small, right? She said her bag should have been bigger. My bag should have been much bigger too, right? But whatever your bag is, make sure that it's secured. And at the end of the day, you can take care of you. And if you have kids, that you can take care of you and your kids. So we're going to go into questions. So stay tuned. All right, we are back with the questions. And our first question is, someone trying to secure their bag, quote unquote, get their finances in order, what's the first thing they should do?
I guess it depends on what is it that you're trying to do. Because something, you might want to do something really big and you might need a financial advisor to help you. But something small, you might, I would say, make sure your credit is good.
Absolutely.
Because, what's that saying you say about the credit thing?
If your credit won't get it,
yeah,
then your money can't be funny either, because that's not gonna get you anywhere.
I pretty much think you should really lay out what all your responsibilities are and seeing where you're at financially, like what you have in your savings, your checkings, kind of looking like what you bring in monthly, what you have to pay every month, just seeing what your money is looking like. Particularly if you, like you said, if you have other plans and business ventures you're trying to explore, you're gonna need money. So you're gonna have to figure out where that money is gonna come from. So if you may have it, or you may have to, get some financial help. So of course, your credit has to be right in order for you to get that. Whether it's a small or large loan, whatever it is, you need that. So I think those are things you should think about.
Yeah.
Securing your bag.
Yeah, you got it. You cannot have your bag secured with less than perfect credit. It's not going to work. So if you are seeking professional help when it comes to getting that credit where it needs to be, ladies, because that's a part of securing your bag. That goes into the bag, your credit score. Make sure you get with me, 860-996-1422, and let's get that, get your credit fixed. But understanding your budget, having a budget and understanding it and working towards a budget. That's the first thing you need to do, knowing what your finances are, right? And then when you get the credit score, all credit is leveraging somebody else's money. So if you got the right credit score, you could get a loan. You can start whatever business you want. And I want ladies to understand that 82% of women that earn a six-figure income every year do it through home-based businesses. And I'm saying that to say it's no excuse for people that say I don't have time. I did not have time when I started my home-based business. Viola didn't have time when she started her home-based business. My mom didn't either. We didn't do it because we had time. We did it because we wanted time, right? There's no excuse. There is an audience out here for everything. I want you to realize that a young lady who eats seafood every day has millions of followers. Millions of followers. So there's an audience already out here for you. Secure your bag, ladies. If you have the vision, if you have the dream, it's in you for a reason. The worst thing you can do is die with regret, right? Question number 2. What's a good age to start securing your bag?
Ooh, I would say when you get your first job. Just get in the habit of saving money. Even if it's just $5. Once you start working, you start saving. It's, get in that habit. Once you start doing this, it's just like, because if you get it taken out, you can't miss nothing you don't see.
Mm-hmm. But you don't even have to wait till you get quote unquote a job, because it's 13-year-olds like the young lady who started her own lemonade at 13. So you don't even have to wait until you're 13. If you get a vision and you want to start doing something and start a business, just do it. There is no right or wrong age. I don't want you to wait too late, but you definitely don't have to be 18.
No.
You can be 12, you can be 13. There's kids out here 9 and 10 years old having books written.
Oh, they get money.
It's never too soon.
You know, that's true because my granddaughter just told me yesterday, Talia, Grandma, I'm going ready to do, what's this you do?
A podcast?
A podcast. I'm learning how to put it up.
Talia is
And
definitely.
she's 11 years old.
She is
said, "Oh, I'm gonna do
definitely
this."
a go-getter.
She didn't even want, she said, I can't come to your house, Grandma. I got something to do tonight. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. Never too early.
Yeah, there's no age.
There's no age limit on it. If you want to do it, then you do it. Okay, last question. My husband suggested that now is not a good time to start my business. What should my response be? Y'all already know what I'm saying.
Well, you know, talk about it. Find out what the reason is that he's saying this. It could be that y'all already into something that you're trying to do right now, or it could be that he just don't want you to do it. So you have to communicate in order to find out if it's the reason he wants is because y'all can't afford it right now, or he just want to be selfish.
Well, for me being single, I'm not really good with people telling me I can't do stuff. I'm just not going to listen. But I mean, like I said, you know, it depends on their relationship. You know, like I was telling y'all earlier, if they really sit down and have serious conversations about their finances, and if financially is not a good idea for them, then I can understand. But I personally, my husband would have to really break that down for me. You know, when he tells me, is this really not a good time? And how many times have you told me that? Like, if it's constant, you know, every year you kind of go back to, is this a good time now? And it's always no. But, you know, I don't think in every situation the husband is trying to just dictate. Maybe it's really not a good idea. I mean, if you're in a situation where you really respect and feel like your husband, you know, makes good decisions, you know, then, you know, maybe he's right. Sometimes maybe your husband is right. They're not always wrong, I don't think.
No, they're not.
Or whatever, you know, because what if he just throws you out there and just you do it, and then it's like all wrong? Then you're gonna kind of be like, well, why you letting me do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think it shouldn't be just like a flat out no, you don't do that. But like if they really have a real conversation about it, and it's just like not right now, but you can tell me when do you think might be a good time. Like,
Yes.
have a plan. Don't just say no. Just
Yes.
like we can make a plan about when it will, like this will be a better time for us. Maybe we already got this done. We've already handled this financially. And maybe at the top of the year, we're going to go ahead and start your business. And you do it, and you just make plans to do it like that. But not just no, and you don't have any plan for what it's going to be in the future. But sometimes the husband can be right.
I agree with you. I totally
and not
agree
always
with
wrong.
you.
Well, ladies. That's why it's good to have, you know, guests, because we all can share our opinion. I respect their opinions, you know, but I'm going to say, do it anyway.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say do it anyway because based on experience, if you wait for the perfect time to start your business, you're never going to start your business. It's never going to be a perfect time for anything. I started my home-based business when we were living in a hotel. I didn't even know where we were going to live. I don't even think I had a conversation with my husband because I knew that we needed to do something. My credit was jacked up. His wasn't perfect, so I had to step out on faith and I started the business. Fast forward almost 3 years later, I've been promoted a total of 5 times. My income has skyrocketed, and I also have time freedom at the same time, allowing other men and women to do the same thing. So I'm going to play the devil's advocate. I'm going to say, if your husband says no, or your spouse, your significant other says no, start the business. If your husband, significant other, spouse, whatever, says start the business, start the business. Either way, start the business.
Okay.
And that concludes this episode of Say What. Thank you everyone as I like to say, thank you to all my chameleons. You guys are awesome. You are here with me every single week. Thank you to my production team, to my branding team. Thank you to our special guests, right? Thank you, Viola. Thank you, Mom. I couldn't have been here without the support and the help of these ladies right here. So guess what? We will see you again next week. Everyone take care and be safe.